Hello, today we're gonna talk about the greatest myth, the virgin birth myth of Jesus. So before we dive into it, let me talk about something. Once upon a time, I was a Christian, but I left Christianity. Then I embraced Judaism. So I just want to share the things what I learned from my journey for the past 10 to 20 years. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the virgin birth myth, how the Christians mistranslated the actual Jewish verse into a different manner or different meaning. Okay, so let's jump into the actual verse from the Christian Bible. The Christian Bible, which is talks about the virgin birth of Jesus. And if you see, there are four Gospels: Matthew, Luke, Mark, and John. So in John, there is nothing talked about, nothing they have mentioned about the virgin birth. But in Matthew, the writer of Matthew is trying to say something, trying to prove something. So let's see what he's trying to prove. Okay, so if you go and read Matthew first chapter, it's always talk about how Jesus was born. An angel visited Mary when she was engaged with the Joseph, and she got conceived by the Holy Spirit, so without any human intervention. And the thing what they try to do here to say to fulfill a biblical prophecy. So the biblical prophecy, what they are telling is, behold, a virgin shall be with child and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. Okay, so this is King James Version. And if we read the World English Bible, behold the virgin. So you see the virgin, but here you see a virgin. So you can see the two different variations. So a virgin means a virgin where no one knows, it's a new character entering into the scene. But if you see the other version of the Christian Bible, it says the virgin, meaning we already know that specific virgin, right? So that's the difference. So you can see the two different versions of the Christian translation. Let's go to the actual Jewish text. So they are quoting the Isaiah chapter 7:14. Let's see what is that. So if you see Isaiah 7:14, it talks about prophet Isaiah addressing King Ahaz of Judah. So as you know, kingdom of Judah was separated after Solomon's death, the King Solomon's death. So when Solomon was there, it was a one single country, United States of Israel. But after his death, after his son took over, it got divided into two. One is the kingdom of Israel, and the other one is kingdom of Judah. So this is going on for a longer time period until the Assyrian Empire completely invaded the kingdom of Israel. Only the kingdom of Judah was survived, and after even the kingdom of Judah was destroyed by the Babylonian invasion. So this is a known history. So, but let's see here. This is the kingdom of Israel, and this is the kingdom of Judah. And this thing is happening when Ahaz is the king of Judah, and what's really happening here is the king of Syria. So it says Aram, the king of Syria and the king of Israel. So if you see the map again here, the king of Syria somewhere here in Aram. Yeah, this is the kingdom of Aram, Damascus, and the king of Israel. So both of these two people making an agreement to attack the kingdom of Judah. So in this case, just imagine what would be the mindset of the people of Judah and the mind of the king of Judah. So they are really depressed, or they don't know what to do. They are thinking whether God is really with us, why he's allowing this to us, that these two guys are going to attack us. So that's the root context here, right? 7. So let's read the whole 7th chapter first in the actual Christian version, and then we will go and read the Hebrew version of it. So let's read the full chapter in Christian version. So when Ahaz, son of Jotham, son of Uzziah, was king of Judah, King Rezin of Aram, which is the Syria, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, which is the king of Israel, marched up against Jerusalem. So these two guys, Rezin and Pekah, these two guys, one is Israel and the other one is the Assyrian guys. They are making an agreement to attack Jerusalem, to attack Judah. So now the house of David was told, Aram has allied itself with Ephraim. When you say Ephraim, it's pointing to the entire kingdom of Israel, the northern 10 tribes. They call it as Ephraim. Okay, so they made an agreement to attack, allied with Israel, and try to attack Judah. So that's the problem. So then the Lord said to Isaiah, go out, you and your son Shear-Jashub, to meet Ahaz, the actual king of Judah. At the end of the etiquette of the upper pool and the border, say to him, be careful, keep calm, and don't be afraid. So don't be afraid, be careful, do not lose your heart because of these two smoldering stubs of firewood, because the fierce anger of Rezin and Aram and the sons of Remaliah. Aram, Ephraim, and Remaliah's son have plotted your ruin, saying, let us invade Judah, let us tear it apart and divide it among ourselves, and make the son of Tabel king over it. Yet this is what the sovereign Lord says, it will not take place. So it technically says those two people won't be victorious, right? So it will not happen. For the head of Aram is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is only Rezin. Within 65 years, Ephraim will be too shattered to be a people, which means the northern 10 tribes in 65 years will be shattered. So the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is only Remaliah's son. So if you do not stand firm in your faith, you will not stand at all. Meaning, if you don't keep Torah, then you will not stand at all. That's what Isaiah is telling to King Ahaz during this critical time. Again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz, ask the Lord your God for a sign, whether in the deepest depths or in the highest heights. So here, the God is telling Ahaz to ask for a sign. So, but Ahaz is telling, I will not ask, I will not put the Lord to a test, which is fair. But now, then Isaiah said, hear now, you house of David, is it not enough to try patience of humans? Will you try to patience of my God also? Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. So meaning the sign, what he's trying to give is for Ahaz, for this, what is he's talking about? That those two guys won't be won't be there in 65 years, neither Israel nor the Assyrians, right? So for that, God is asking through Isaiah to ask a sign, but Ahaz is hesitant to ask for a sign, but Isaiah is giving the sign himself. That's the sign he's giving, the virgin. So this is a Jewish Bible. This is not a Jewish Bible. This is actually a Christian version. So they mention the virgin, right? So will conceive and give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel. And he will be eating curds and honey when he knows enough to reject wrong and choose right. For before the boy knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right, the land of the two kings you dread will be waste. So before this boy who's going to born, before he knows what is good and bad, these two guys, the kingdom of Israel as well as the kingdom of Aram, will lay waste. The Lord will bring on you, on our people, on the house of your father, a time unlike any since Ephraim broke away from Judah. He will bring the king of Assyria. So this is what the actual thing, right? So this is the actual sign. But how the Christians nicely mistranslated this here as the virgin. Technically, this verse is not talking about any birth of a Messiah. This sign is to be on that time when the Israel and the Aram trying to attack, the kingdom of Judah. So since Ahaz did not ask for a sign. So God is giving a sign to him that this is the sign that these two kingdoms will be no more when a child will be born, and you will name it as Emmanuel, meaning Immanu means with us, El means God, so God with us. So you are thinking God is not with us, but you will name him God is with us. So that's the meaning of this one, right? So this is the whole thing. But let's go back to a Hebrew version of Isaiah. So the same story here. Here in Isaiah, that and the Lord said to me, take your soul. Let's go to the chapter 7. So this is the kabbalah I'm using. So the same story. It came to pass, Ahaz son of Jotham, king of Uzziah, blah blah blah. House of Aram has allied with Ephraim. Go to the thing. Let's go to the actual sign. Okay. So ask for yourself a sign from the Lord your God, as either in depths or in the heights. Let's read it. She'al lecha o me'im Adonai Elohecha ha'emech she'ala o ha'gebei le'ma'ala. Vayomer Achaz lo. So Achaz said to him, Eshal velo anes et Adonai, meaning I won't test the Lord. So Vayomer Shemu'u. And then Isaiah is telling to him, he said, Shemu'u, listen, please listen now. Beit David, house of David. Hama'at mikhem halot hanashim tal'u gam et Elohai. Meaning, is it little for you to weary man that you weary my God as well? So therefore the Lord of his own shall give you a sign. Lakein yiten Adonai hu lakem ot hine ha'alma. Ha'alma, meaning the young woman. So the word in Hebrew, alma, means it's not necessarily to be a virgin. So it can be, the actual meaning is the young woman. Right? So it's not to do with the virgin. So when they said the young woman is with child, and she shall bear a son, and she shall call his name Emmanuel. So hara ve'eled ben ve'karata shemo Immanu. Immanu means with us, and El means God. So, and she will name that guy, that boy as Emmanuel. So meaning, to understand, this woman, the young woman, should be known to Isaiah or King Ahaz, right? That woman should be there in that space when they were talking in that specific place, right? So that's what we need to understand. So it may be Isaiah's wife, or it may be the King Agag's wife. So it's nothing to do with the Messiah. It's nothing to do with the promised Messiah's thing. So this is the thing. And when that boy is growing, then the two kingdoms, Ephraim's and Assyria, will be destroyed. The same thing happened after 60 years. If you see the history, the entire kingdom of Israel was exiled by the Assyrian kingdoms, and after that Assyrian kingdoms got invaded by the Babylonian kingdoms. So from this, what we are trying to understand, the Isaiah chapter 7 is nothing to do with a promised Messiah. It's actually on the exact time when this incident happened, and the meaning of the word is not virgin, it's actually the young woman, and again it's the young woman who known to them either Ahaz or Isaiah. But for a longer time, I don't know what the Christians trying to prove here, that to make Jesus born as a virgin. So if you say my mother or your mother are you born of a virgin, will you believe it? So how dumb people are that believing that Jesus born from a virgin birth. So please think about that, and let's stop this lie spread by Christian for 2000 years, and let's spread the truth. Thank you very much for watching.